Welcome on in to another edition of Sports Memo Today, a Tuesday edition, which of course, means the Triple Play Tuesday you see to the side of me there. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and we're happy to be here with you, getting you the actionable info you know and love each and every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Sports Memo TV and friends over at Wager Talk TV as well. Joining me today, I got Ross Benjamin, I got Jeff Michaels, and it is an all football edition. So I love it. We got some college football bowls to get into. Ross is going to have an NFL total play for you. And then we also have some great specials and deals to be sharing with you throughout the show. Before we get into it, again, reminder that $2 Tuesday, head on over to Wager Talk. Steve Merrill with a 5% on a bowl play. You can grab it early right now for just $2. And at Sports Memo, we got that 3-pack. You can get each play individually for $2, or you can pony up, pay $5, and get a 5%er from Teddy, get a 4-star from Ross Benjamin, and a 5%er NHL Tuesday top of the ticket play from our guy Kevin Thomas. One of those aforementioned handicappers that you can grab their play for just $2 is the great Ross Benjamin, and he's our first guest on the show here today. Ross, always a pleasure. The lid is looking good, my man. How's it been running since we talked last, Ross?
It's been great. Thank you so much, Dan. Great to be back with you. College basketball is rolling real well right now. 22-11 since November 14th. So college basketball subscriptions up right now, very affordable. NFL still top 5 all year long. Number 4 right now, currently. All sports runs since November 14th of 59%, up over 7,900 units during that course of time. So, and right now, if you look at the homepage at sportsmemo.com, I'm number 3 over the last 30 days. So I guess things are going pretty good, Dan.
Yeah, definitely seeing it well on the gridiron and the hardwood. You can grab one of those plays that he loves, a gem, a 4-star gem in that Cure Bowl going Friday. You can get it for just $2 today.
That'll be all week long too, Dan. So it's not only $2 today, but right up until game time. So,
yeah, but you know what? Line might move, Ross. Go and get it today. Yeah. It might be up all week, but why waste any time? You don't want to miss any line moves. Be on the right side with my guy, Ross Benjamin. sm.buzz/RB. Check it out. And not only do we have that, we got free plays to give the folks here today. Let's talk a little Fenway Bowl. This one goes December 17th, 11 a.m. It's Louisville. It's Cincy. Now, I was looking at the line moves in this game, and as far as the side, nothing has really changed. We did see a pretty sizable move on the total. Went from around 44, 44.5 down to 41, 41.5. But that side is stuck right around that Louisville -1, -1.5 where you're shopping. So what do you think? We know the total's getting hit, but what do you think about this Louisville-Cincinnati side play? Where are you going, Ross?
I like the side in this game, and let me tell you why. I mean, first of all, very intriguing when it comes to the head coaches here. Louisville, you're looking at Scott Satterfield has left Louisville, and ironically enough, he's took the head coaching job at Cincinnati, who Louisville is going to play. And also Luke Fickell, who's made his name at Cincinnati, and they're ready to go into the Big 12 next year. But head scratcher as he took the job at Wisconsin, which shocked a lot of people. Now, having said that, you got to sometimes throw the numbers out the window here, meaning statistical stuff. Because, look, here's the thing. If you read Twitter this week, you're looking at the fact that Louisville players were quite upset with the fact that Scott Satterfield took the head coaching job at Cincinnati, and they found out by social media. So you think these guys are going to be inspired in this matchup? I think so. And Cincinnati's got to be a little deflated because their head coach, who they had a lot of success with, is now leaving for what he deems to be greener pastures. This is also a Louisville team that's coming off a 26-13 loss at Kentucky in a regular season finale. They're now 7-5 on the year. But here's the thing with Louisville. they've been very resilient this year after a loss. As a matter of fact, 4-0 straight up in ATS following a loss this season. So they have not lost 2 games in a row all season long, Dan. And then if you look at the strength of schedule, Louisville has played a much tougher schedule in the ACC than Cincinnati has played in the top-heavy American Athletic Conference. So I'm going to take Louisville here on the money line over Cincinnati. Anything minus 135 or less, I'm on Louisville. If the line moves up over to like 2.5 to 3, I wouldn't be afraid to lay those points either.
There we go. So just asking Louisville to win the game with maybe a little added motivation. That's Ross Benjamin, free play number 1. So that is in the college football side of things, but we got an NFL play that you're eyeing as well. And this Titans-Chargers game, I think it's just a fascinating matchup because it kind of feels, I know that it's not like the Chargers have sustained, a win after a win. They're kind of up, they're kind of down. But when I look at Titans, I look at Chargers, immediately it seems to me 2 teams heading in opposite directions. So how are you going to be betting this game? Does it have anything to do with maybe an incensed Chargers team and a little deflated Titans team? Or are you just saying, forget that, let's see if we can get some points in this game? How's Ross Benjamin breaking down this tilt?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the total here, Dan. Sometimes you just need to simplify. And let's look at the team statistical comparisons. And you're looking at a Chargers team that's number 28 against the run, giving up 147 yards per game, and number 32 in terms of yards per attempt. They're allowing 5.4 yards per attempt per rushing attempt, And last I checked, Tennessee's got a pretty good running back named Derrick Henry. I would venture to say that Tennessee's going to have a lot of success running the ball in this contest, and it's going to open up some play action pass opportunities for Ryan Tannehill in this contest. Now, you look at the other side of the coin, the LA Chargers are the number 3 passing offense in the NFL at 273 yards per game, and they're going to be facing the Tennessee pass defense, who's next to last in the NFL in defending the pass at 284 yards per game. As a matter of fact, Tennessee, and I was surprised to see this, they've allowed 300 plus yards passing in 7 of 13 games this year. And then you also add in the fact the LA Chargers, number 28 in scoring defense this season at 25.1 points per game allowed. Tennessee's defense in their last 2, they've given up 35 and 36 points and 453 and 428 yards in losses to Philadelphia and Jacksonville. The Chargers are coming off back-to-back unders in their last 2. That's happened twice already, twice before this season, and they followed up back-to-back unders by going over the total in their next game. In other words, they have not gone under the total in 3 straight games this year, and those 2 consecutive overs after back-to-back unders produced 48 and 57 points combined. And since 2020, Tennessee 10-2 to the over on the road when the total is 46.5 or greater. Also since 2020, Tennessee 8-1 to the over on the road following a straight-up loss. And finally, Justin Herbert 18-10 to the over in his career when he starts as a favorite. And Ryan Tannehill since 2018, 23-13 to the over in his road starts. So I'm going to go over the total here. Tennessee and the Chargers seeing a lot of 47s, 47.5, but 146.5. I believe at Caesars right now. So 46.5 to 47.5, anywhere in that range, folks. I'm going over the total.
Man, Ross, I'm glad that our producer, Eric, does a terrific job alternating between our shots, because usually when you're breaking down games, I'm writing fast and furious because I love how you use the spots in conjunction with season long, with year long, with just different trends. So it's not only, you know, how some handicappers, they only rely on the numbers. You also watch all of these games. You look at the spots, you look at the schedules, you look at the sandwiches, and that is how Ross Benjamin year after year is successful handicapping, especially on the gridiron, man. I love it. We love having you on, Ross. So remind people what you have up when they head on over to your page, sm.buzz/RB, and what you have on the horizon that you're excited about.
Yeah, $2 pick on the Cure Bowl on Friday evening. Troy in Texas, San Antonio, one of the best matchups of the week in the bowl games. And you can get that for $2, not only today, folks, but I'm going to leave it at $2 all week long. So no excuses. I'm sure you spent a lot of stupider $2 in your life than spending $2 with me to make money. And then also, folks, don't forget, college basketball. I'm on an absolute roll right now, 22-11 since November the 17th. My all sports since November 14th, making an absolute killing right now, up over 70 units during that course of time. And near the top of the leaderboard, I believe number 3 over the last 30 days at SportsMemo, right there on the homepage in all sports in terms of money earned. And right now, number 4 in the NFL, and I believe number 3 in college basketball. So things are really, really good right now, folks. And I don't know what you're waiting for. You know what they say about people who hesitate? He who hesitates, they lose. So don't hesitate. Make some purchases. Invest some money in me. I'll make you some money in return.
Yeah, I mean, the season-long records don't lie. The year-over-year records don't lie. Ross Benjamin, man of the people, saying, I know they only let me leave this up for $2. Today on $2 Tuesday, he's leaving it for you all week long. So I say run, don't walk. Obviously, finish the rest of the show. Don't leave us here on Sports Memo Today just yet. But you can open up a little second browser there. Go grab that $2 play from Ross, or do the $5 triple play Tuesday. You can grab a 5% big ticket, a total for Teddy Covers, and he's running hot as well. And then you got Kevin Thomas. He's got an NHL play tonight. So you got a Tuesday moneymaker. You have Friday moneymaker in the Cure Bowl, and you have a play from Teddy Covers as well, a 5% big ticket play, and you can grab that all for just $5. Go to any one of those guys' pages. Obviously, Kevin Thomas, Ross Benjamin, Teddy Covers, or just go to sportsmemo.com right on to the home page there. And I love it, man. A lot of info there. So just to recap, you got the Titans and Chargers over the 46 from Ross Benjamin, and we're looking at Louisville money line, or if it starts getting a little juicy on that money line, he won't hesitate to lay the point and a half, all the way up to about 2.5 is what our guy Ross Benjamin was sharing with us. And fun's not done yet. We got my guy Jeff Michaels, also known as JM Sports. Follow him on Twitter when you want all the TNA. Man, that's starting to really get into Ralph territory. Obviously, your pops Ralph Michaels, with all this info you've been dropping, I look forward to it each and every day. You're dropping charts, trends, and angles. So, Jeff, you really started coming into your own, man. It's got to be feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's always been a little bit of a friendly competition because it's always been something that me and my dad have both been interested in. But hey, making the information that used to be in my head known to everybody else out there too. So I will enjoy giving it out, and hey, that's what we're here to do, right? Give out winners.
Yeah, and the friendly competition as well in our Sports Memo Fantasy Football League. I'll say, I don't know. Your dad's been in the business for a long time, but you've been giving him the business in fantasy football this year. That's all I'm saying. The Young Bucks have been taking over our league, so I don't know. Maybe we'll end up seeing each other in the championship there, Jeff. We'll have to find out, right?
I hope so. I had a rough week this week. I come back loss,
It
point and a
happens.
half.
It happens.
Half loser. Yes, it does.
Yeah,
Happens in the gambling world and the fantasy world.
Yeah, bad beat heard round the world, those damn half points. Well, man, let's get into some of these free plays that you have for the folks. We were talking before the show. You were saying these two, they might even end up on the client card. So Jeff giving away some free info right here. Let's start with the strangely named Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. Yeah, that's how you know they'll just name these bowls after everyone when even Jimmy Kimmel can get a bowl named after him. December 17th, 3:30 Eastern. And Jeff, I mean, we saw Washington State. They opened as the favorite, just under a field goal, about 2.5, and it's been all Bulldogs ever since then. Now they're the field goal favorite. So what do you think? Fresno State, Washington State, you kind of agree with that move, or you think it might be time to get a little buyback? How are you betting this one?
I think that a lot of these bowl games scare me immediately when the lines come
Mm-hmm.
out because you get a lot of players that don't end up playing, end up backing out if they're, potentially transferring or going to the NFL or whatnot. If this line would have stayed where it was at, this would have been a 20 unit play if I could have made it, because I do agree that Fresno State should be the favorite in this one. I'm rolling with Fresno State in the LA Bowl. They started the season rough. They were 1-4 straight up, and they lost their first 5 games this season against the spread. But they closed out the year with 8 straight wins and covered 6 of those 8 games. And one of their biggest strengths, at least recently, has been the turnovers that they've been able to create. In the last 3 weeks, they're +7 in the turnover margin. And that's definitely made up for a struggling offense over the last 2 weeks. But they did play Boise State again, and they managed to come out with a win in both of those games. They were held under 300 yards in both, including just 245 yards that they put up against Boise State. But as I mentioned, they beat Boise State this time, and they beat all other 7 opponents before that. They put up 330 plus yards in 6 straight games leading up to those previous 2. So we know that they have potential. And you look at them even in a head-to-head comparison with Washington State, both of these teams played Oregon State, and both of these teams played USC this season. Both of them, granted, lost and failed to cover, but Washington State only put up 12 points per game in those 2 games. Fresno State averaged nearly 25. So their offense has proven themselves on a head-to-head level that they can compete better in these high-intensity situations. But the last 2 wins have been thanks to their defense, and that's something that I'm looking for in this game. I mean, they held Wyoming to 191 yards, and I don't care, what kind of D1 level team that is. 191 yards, that's 136 yards below their season average, and they shut them out. They beat them 30-0. And as I mentioned before, their offense struggled against Boise, but they held Boise 64 yards under their season total. Boise put up their 4th fewest yards of the season, and they allowed just 16 points. Where, mind you, in the first meeting, Boise State put up 40 points and 443 yards. So, Washington State last game dominated by Washington. They were only 2.5-point underdogs. Granted, they were underdogs, but they lost by 18, and they gave up over 700 yards of offense. Washington put up 218 rushing yards and 485 passing yards. So I think this is a huge opportunity for Fresno State's offense to potentially bounce back. And I expect their defense to continue rolling in this one. So Fresno State minus the points.
Minus the spot, the line move, not scaring them off even a little bit. Lay the field goal with the Bulldogs, according to my guy, JM Sports. Check him out on SportsMemo, sm.buzz/JMS. So we talked a little LA Bowl. Let's talk a little Boca Raton Bowl. This one is December 20th, 7:30 Eastern time, when the kickoff between the Toledo Rockets and the Liberty Flames will be going. And man, talk about line moves. Odds makers initially thought Toledo should be favored when this game opened, but favored by a point, as it's been all Rockets since then. 5-point favorites is what we're looking at. You agreed with the first line move. This one makes sense to you too?
Yeah, maybe it's something about me living in Cleveland that I'm craving this warm weather, because I'm going to LA and then we're headed out to Boca Raton. So,
Smart
but
man.
I am sticking with a little bit of that Ohio, because I do like Toledo. I think that this line movement was the right direction too. Toledo struggled a little bit in their last couple games, but they bounced back in that MAC title game and they dominated OU. And one of the biggest things that I noticed in that game for the Rockets is their rushing attack really came alive again. They had multiple off weeks after a couple of good performances to start the year, so we knew that they had some potential, but they rushed for 236 yards against OU last week, and that's been one of the biggest weaknesses of this Liberty defense, especially over the last couple weeks. They're allowing nearly 200 rushing yards per game over the last three. And this is a Toledo team that has proven that they can do it like for 177 yards against non-conference opponents. And sometimes those non-conference opponents give you some wonky numbers because you're playing easy competition, whatever it may be. This Toledo team took on Ohio State and San Diego State this season in non-conference games. And they're still rushing for 177 yards per game against non-conference opponents. So that's no D2, D3 opponent kind of numbers that we're looking at there. And then you look at Toledo's defense that has kind of been their pride and joy. They're allowing under 300 total yards of offense over the last 4 weeks, holding teams to just 46.3% completion. So they're shutting down the passing game. They're limiting the opportunities that opponents can get there. And over the last 3 weeks, they're allowing only 98 rushing yards per game. So proven they can shut down the rush and shut down an offense in both ways there. But, one of the big things that I think into these bowls is momentum. And I said, Toledo didn't have the greatest run in here, but they bounced back in that MAC title game. You look at Liberty's last 3 games, and I think this might be what bookmakers were looking at. 3 straight losses to close out the season for Liberty, but not only did they lose those games, they were double-digit favorites in all 3 of them. They lost by 3 at UConn, 13-point favorites. Lost by just 1 against Virginia Tech, but they were at home and they were 10.5-point favorites. Oh yeah, and then that measly little 35-point loss to New Mexico State as a 24-point favorite. So you want to talk about some bad momentum coming into this game. Liberty is the perfect example, and I don't think that this is a game that they can bounce back in. I think Toledo takes it by a touchdown, so I'd take this one all the way up to -6.5, we'll say.
Yeah, and Malik Willis ain't walking out of that tunnel. Sorry, Flames fans. So we're looking at Toledo laying the spot. We're looking at Fresno State laying the spot. That's my guy, Jeff Michaels, sm.buzz/JMS. When they head over there, what are they going to find? Anything you're excited about? Anything you got locked and loaded for this weekend or bowl game specials already, brother?
Yeah, I got a couple of college games that are definitely catching my eye. I haven't put them up yet. But I do have some basketball action going for you. 2-for-1 pack, got top college basketball and top NBA play going in the same package for you over there. But we've been red hot recently. 11-2 run in the NFL, number 4 in profit over the last 7 days, 7-1-1 in the last 9 plays overall, and we're 7-4-1 in the NBA recently. So doing it on all the levels, excited for bowl season, definitely got some big action in store there. Got a lot that I got my eye on. So we're really picking out and narrowing it down to the best opportunities to cash in this bowl season. So those extended deals are some of the best you're going to get. And we can close out the month of December with plenty of bowl opportunities. So jump on over to SportsMemo, grab those extended packs after you grab those 3 guys for $5 that we got going on today.
Look at that. Yes, on December 13th, Santa Claus might be coming to town, but you could be heading to the counter to cash some tickets if you're riding with our experts from SportsMemo, Jeff Michaels notwithstanding. As he mentioned, you got that $5 triple play. Use the money that you win on that to roll it on over and grab that long-term bowl action from my guy, Jeff Michaels. You heard the experts. You agree? You disagree? What are you going to be betting on in bowl action? Hop below in the comments and let us know. If you enjoy the show, we just ask you to hit that little like button, hit that bell, so make sure you're subscribed to never miss any of the great shows that we have going here at Sports Memo TV and Wager Talk TV. That does it for us. Big thanks to Ross Benjamin. Big thanks to Jeff Michaels as well. I'm your host, Dan Alexander, and we will be back Thursday right here on Sports Memo Today.